Hello, everybody. It's Tanya here, and I want to welcome you to the Stream Like a Boss live stream TV show series that we do each and every week. It's been a day. So I have a lot of things I need to share with you all. I'll try to make sure that we keep it in our typical 30 to 45-minute time frame. First and foremost, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me do a couple of really quick checks here to make sure everything is moving as it should. We should be on live in multiple locations this evening. And we're also, besides broadcasting live in multiple spaces, one of the other things that I want to mention is we're using the Melon app. So the Melon app is an app, a streaming platform that is excellent. It's very similar to if you're used to StreamYard or Restream. There's a couple of other tools that are out there that are very similar. But I'll tell you a little bit about an update that I noticed when I used this particular app this afternoon as I was preparing for our live. So I want to say hello to those of you who are joining us live. Go ahead and put in the comments where you're from and say hello. And the other thing I want to do to make sure I do is to send a shout out. So if you're inside of our community, if you're inside of the Live Streaming for Service Providers group on Facebook, then I want you to make sure that you look for the instructions in the description and go ahead and give permission for me to see your lovely face and your name. And if you've been watching us for some time, I want you to go ahead and put in the chat hashtag OG. If this is your very first time watching, I want you to put hashtag newbie. Hashtag newbie and hashtag OG. There's my friend, Miss Phyllis from Houston. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And I see a couple of other people that are coming on in. Here's what I want to do. A couple of things. Like I said, there's several things I want to try to get through tonight. But the main reason why you came here is to learn more about some ideas on how you can actually use Facebook, or not use Facebook, but how you can come up with content topics for your Facebook Lives. So I'm going to give you 3 specific tips, 3 cool ideas, as I like to call them, so that you know what to do the next time you're running out of topics, okay? Before I dive into that, yes, ma'am, OG but still new. Look, you're an OG to me, Miss Phyllis. That's what you are to me. You're part of the crew. All right, here's what I'm going to do first. Since I mentioned I have a couple of things I want to talk about. First of all, let me do this because I didn't do it. My intro, I usually try to share for those of you who are newbies, because I know we're going to have some newbies that are strolling in and you may be watching the replay. I you can be found at getnoticedwithvideo.com or streamlikeaboss.org. Those are my 2 primary websites, and you can find out a lot of information if you just go to the site that you see on the screen. But I help coaches, consultants, and course creators to leverage more video, especially live streaming video, so that you can serve more people, sell more of your services, and stand out online. That's what we want, right? So I am typically on here live each and every week on Thursdays at this time. We're on a Thursday schedule, usually at 8 p.m. Eastern. So if you like what you see tonight, if you like what you hear and you're engaged and you're finding this to be fun, then I want you to come back. Make sure you follow us, like us, and subscribe. All right. And yes, Miss Tish in the house, who's going to be going live on Friday. Yes, I'm putting it out there, ma'am, because I'm so super excited for you. Good evening. Good evening. I see a lot of hellos. Yes, thank you so much, everybody. It's awesome that you're here with me live because I love the interaction. What I want to do next is I'm going to do a couple of really quick hitter things because I can't forget to do these things. And then we're going to dive into our 3 tips. Look, if you've got questions, if there's anything that you need me to clarify, pop it in the chat because I am here with you in real time, unless you're watching the replay, and then I'm not. But I am here right now on Thursday, June 30th. And I am super thrilled to talk a little bit about my experience today, which was awesome. So here's how I'm going to play this because I'm adding a couple of extra things in here. One, I have to tell you about my experience today with Rocks Digital, which is a social media conference that's held by goodness, my good friend Lisa Duty and Bernadette Coleman. And there are a number of different pieces to the puzzle that go into putting this awesome event on. But it was all day today in celebration of Social Media Day and also Local Search Day. So that was here in the Dallas area. It was one of the first times that I've been on a live stage in several years. So I have to tell you that I was a little, I'll say, anxious. I was a little bit anxious because I thought, man, I'm so used to now just doing everything virtually, like many of you probably are, and being on like Zoom or your StreamYard or whatever platform you may be using for your live streams. I'm so used to that I'd kind of gotten away from the being on stage and physically in person thing. So it was very different. I felt a little bit of anxiety early on, but once we got into the groove and once I was on the stage, I had an amazing time. I had two amazing co-panelists, and the moderator was just awesome, able to pull all the points together that we were talking about. So I just highly encourage you. As a matter of fact, one of my tips tonight on coming up with ideas for your next Facebook Live has to do with this particular conference and other spaces where you can put yourself to transfer knowledge, to get this knowledge transfer. So I am going to come back to that, but I did want to tell you, because I know some of you were asking earlier, how did it go? It went really well, and I'm just so blessed. I feel really good about everything that we were able to do and what we were able to share and how we showed up to serve, myself and the others that were on stage. So yes, wonderful. And kudos to Lisa for pulling off yet another amazing event. That's that. Okay, so I wanted to mention that and say thank you for asking about it. The second thing I also wanted to mention is this. I haven't done the best job, honestly, of doing the email blast over and over again about Stream Bosses Academy, but I don't want you to miss out. If you have been talking about and have been interested in joining the Academy, enrollment will be closing tomorrow. That is July 1st at midnight Eastern Time. The clock will run out, and I will not be opening the doors again for at least a couple of months, probably the latter part of September after my birthday. So if you're interested in being a part or you want to know more about it, I definitely wanted to share this very super short, quick video with you. It's a 1 minute, 1.5 minute, I think, video that I want to share with you really quickly so that you can learn more about the experience. And then we're going to come back and dive right into our tips, because I got some stuff I need to share with you. We need some idea generators, right? So let's watch this really quick video and then I'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Tanya Lee from ShiningSelf.com, where I blog and podcast. And Tanya and I met several years ago at a Beachpreneurs event, which is a business event for women. And Tanya was doing what she does best, speaking about video and live streaming. What I was experiencing at that time was I was petrified to be on video. Now, I am a self-proclaimed selfie queen. I can take selfies all day long and share those with no problem. But putting myself on video was entirely different. And over the years, from meeting Tanya at that event and following her online and recently joining her Stream Bosses Academy, I have just gained so much confidence and just support from Tanya and the rest of the community has just given me the confidence to not only be on video, but to actually enjoy being on video. I love all the expertise that Tanya brings to the table. I love all the resources she shares, and she also reminds us to not get distracted by bright, shiny objects. I highly recommend, if you're looking to do live streaming, just connect with Tanya. She is a wealth of knowledge, and she will just really encourage and inspire you to get over your fear of being on camera. Thanks so much, Tanya.
All right, everybody. I was sitting here and trying not to have these tears come to my eyes because so many amazing things have happened since I've been streaming. Look, it's been a long ride, and it didn't start off smooth. It started off kind of bumpy, but so many amazing people have been put into my path for me either to serve or for them to serve and help support me in my own growth. So I just want to thank each and every one of you who are already members of the Academy. And even if you're not, thank you for being here for this video, for this live stream tonight, and listening to what I have to share, because I appreciate that you're here to be able to consume the information, and I hope that it helps you to better whatever it is you're doing in your business. The whole point and the purpose of us doing these streams and doing video, period, is so that we can do more to serve people in a positive way. I want you to be able to make that positive impact and to make those ripple effects, right? That's what it's about. Sir David Kennedy, is wonderful to see you here as well, sir. Yes, as always. Thank you for showing up. All right, y'all. So I've given you the warning and the clock is running down. It's up to you from this point. I'm going to turn off the ticker and we're going to get into our content, and let's talk about our tips. Let's do that. So here's what I will do right now. Let's move that out of the way. And we're going to focus on the 3 tips. Okay. And I'm going to showcase a couple of different tips to demonstrate exactly what I mean when I talk about these things. So the first thing is I got to tell you why we even need to talk about this topic again, because the whole question of what do I say on video has been one that has often come up. It comes up frequently. Even those of you who are tenured video people, you're still looking for ways. You're trying to figure out, how can I come up with ideas for topics? And so I need to talk you through some things that may be simple and right at the, like you're right there, but you haven't figured out that you just need to go a little bit further, right, in order to make this thing happen. You need to have resources that you are constantly going to. It can't just be about one time looking up information, because here's what happens. The content that you're sharing and the topics that you're talking about through your videos need to typically be updated at some point. Now, there are some topics that you may talk about that are very evergreen, meaning that you might talk about this topic today and it's going to be the same truth 2, 3 years, 10 years from now. But there are a lot of things that change depending on the niche that you're in. So I really want you to be thinking about, how can you expand your mind, expand your thinking, and constantly be growing, so that when you are on, especially for live streaming, which typically happens in real time and people are watching while you're on, in that moment, what kind of connections can you make with the person on the other side of the camera? So the first cool idea that I want to share with you is this. If you want to know how to come up with more topics, read more books, people. Look, I always tell my kids that readers are leaders. And I used to be an avid reader. I would read just about anything under the sun, but somehow I started growing up and time would get away from me and it was less of a priority. But here's what I want you to know is that recently I revived the entire process that I put in place for myself to schedule time for myself to have personal development. I want you to think about what I just said. We don't always schedule in time for our own personal development, but we should, because not only does it help you, again, from a personal wellness standpoint, but it also helps to give you more content ideas, more ideas for what you can talk about and share with other people. I love that reading books, especially books that will help you in support of the expertise that you already have, can give you ideas and nuggets, and they are huge thought generators, books and podcasts as well. Now, what you may be saying is, Tanya, I don't have time to read a whole book. Okay, point taken. But what you do have time to do is to find tools and platforms that can give you a recap, that can give you the finer highlight points. So I pulled out a tool that I have not used in a very long time, but I think I'm about to renew my subscription. I'm going to show it to you on screen here. It's called Blinkist, Blinkist.com. Now, some of you may be familiar with this, but what I love about this particular tool, if you just can't go get that entire book and read that whole book, you can use an app like Blinkist to find the finer points of your books that you need that are related to your topic or that are just going to help you with professional growth. I'll give you a couple of ones that I have, or I have some Audible books as well that are on my list right now that I'm going to share with you that I'm reading, because I want you to get some ideas about the way in which you're actually finding and locating reading material. I read everything I can find. One of the things I do besides Blinkist and tools like this, Audible, and tools like that too, is every single time I see an article, a post, a blog post, something that I find online, I will save it to Pocket. I will save it to Pocket because if I run into something while I'm on the go and it's on my mobile device, on my phone, if I happen to be browsing through the desktop, then anywhere I am, whatever type of device it's on, I can do a bookmark in Pocket. So let me type in getpocket.com. Now, Getpocket or pocket.com is a space where you can actually, like I said, collect these bookmarks of any type of article. So let's say for instance, you're scanning the internet because you're trying to study and do some research to write your own blog post or to create your next video or your next video series. And you happen upon an article that's on your phone and you're like, I want to come back to that later, but I don't have time to read it right now. Well, you can bookmark that and it goes into Pocket. So I'm big on looking for ways to find reading material that's going to help to really amplify an idea or to give me a topic that I hadn't even thought about or a perspective that is something new or different, right? In order to come up with videos for my brand. Think about different types of books and books and podcasts and platforms that you might use for your own video idea generators. So I'll give you an example so that you can kind of see how this might work. I am reading a book right now called The Business of Belonging. The reason why I'm reading that is because I knew, and some of you have heard me talk about this a couple of months ago, that I really was going all in on creating more of a community around the people who were viewing my videos and wanted to leverage their own video content creation for their business. So I then ended up deciding, okay, well, if I'm going to build a community, then I'm going to invest in a course and a program, which I did with Stu McLaren. I'm going to also look for other articles, research other people who are doing something similar to what I do, see what type of books and articles and blog posts they're reading, what kind of podcasts they're listening to. And the more that I was able to research, the more I found resources, many of which were free, that I could tap into. So The Business of Belonging was an ideal book for me to be able to read in order to get more content and more differentiators for how I wanted to set up my community, like things that would be proven information that applies right now today by finding books that I could read that would help me to really kind of broaden my thinking about the topic. So I want you to really think about this when you're coming up with video topics. What are some of the books that you're reading in your space? And if you have an idea for a book that you could be reading or that you've had in your library and haven't picked up, then what I need you to do is go ahead and type that book title in the chat. What's a book that you know you want to read and you put it aside and haven't put it out there yet, that you're, a date and a time to get it done, to get the reading started? I want you to put that in the chat so you can commit right now in front of all of us that you're going to get that book read. And if you don't have a book quite yet that you have in mind, then I want you to go do a search. Go do a search on Amazon, do a search in Audible, do a search in that site that I shared with you, Blinkist. and see what you come up with, because I bet you will find some ideas of things that will help you, books that will help you to get more ideas on what you need to talk about. One of the tips that I also share with my Academy members is looking, when you do look in Amazon or when you do look in some of these books that you're finding, one really excellent way to get generated ideas for your videos is to look at the chapter titles. Keep in mind that there's already research and development that's been done to put that book together, especially for the bestsellers. And the same goes for magazines that might be in your niche. So if you're looking at magazines, if you're looking at books and you're scanning through those chapter titles, right, and the titles of the articles that you're seeing in the outline, in the table of contents, how could those potentially be some basis for a video that you create? How can you put your own personal spin on that exact topic and share that out? So that's tip number one. All right. So tip number one is be a reader, like read more books. Now, I'm going to break it out into tip number two because I want to show something to you that, again, you probably already know, but you just forgot or haven't been using it correctly. And guess what that tip is? It's to use the Google. I said the Google because you know how you got that auntie or that uncle or that cousin. They always put a "the" in front of something that's, to make it more of a thing. Use the Google, folks. Use the Google. I want you to remember that Google search is one of the best ways for you to find any type of information that you want to find. I was just having this conversation with my daughter the other night because I was telling her, as she was asking me these questions about a topic I had no clue on, I said, look, your generation is so fortunate because you have access to so much more information than we did. I don't know if you remember way back then, but for me, in my age group, I remember encyclopedias. Do y'all remember that? If you remember encyclopedias, I want you to just type in or use a book emoji. One of the stacked book emojis. I want to see who else knows. All right. So here's the thing about the book emoji and the encyclopedias. You had to get a new set every year because information kept getting updated. And if you missed around, if you didn't get your set for that year, what ended up happening is what? You just out of luck. You have old information in those books. But now Google search is always up to speed. Yes, Michelle, thank you. I love it. I love it. See, I knew somebody else knew what I was talking about and put a book emoji in there. Thank you for letting me know I'm not alone. And it's good to see you, JP High Tech, in the house. Wonderful, wonderful. So yes, we are people who remember the time when Google was not around and we couldn't just get an answer on a whim. So I want to show you something inside of Google that's really important. And that is, if you are looking for topics for your videos, here's a really easy way for you to find these topics. So I'm going to share my screen again, and I've already put in a topic that I want to look for. And this is going to be for somebody who knows who you are, because we just were on our Academy call, our Creator Day call this week. So wellness box blogs is what I typed in. So what you're going to do for your formula will be whatever it is that is your topic of choice. So your topic of expertise, the topic that you focus on, that you talk about, plus the word blogs. Okay, that's what I want you to type into Google. Now I've already typed in wellness blocks or wellness box blogs. Okay, say that 5 times real fast. And what happened is when I typed this in for my friend who I know I want her to watch this, and she probably is on here or will watch the replay, notice that I've now got several things that I can see. I see that there's a natural wellness blog here. So probably there's a number of different types of topics and titles that are inside this person's blog. I'm going to open that in a new link and we'll look at that in a second. I also see a couple of topics right here in the search. I see 12 wellness subscription boxes to boost your self-care. That in itself could be an idea. You could talk about, if you're going to be selling subscription wellness boxes, you could talk about the 12 that you're going to have coming up for the year, because this is a subscription that people can get once a month, or maybe it's quarterly, but you're going to talk about the subscription boxes that you have, and you're going to talk about the different ways in which they boost self-care. Each of those is a topic. If you have 12, you do one video per topic and you got 12 videos done. Here's another one I saw down here. Gift ideas. So you could do a video that talks about how to use your wellness box for gift ideas or regifting to your loved ones, right? For birthdays, for stress-free days, right? For meditation and spa days. You could share ideas for people to give gifts using your subscription box. Let's see, here's another one. Let's see, there's an unboxing video that's here. There's an unboxing topic, so you could do an unboxing of one of your subscription boxes. So I hope you're getting the message. What I'm saying is, you're going to use Google to give you ideas of what's already showing up on the first page, and you're going to convert those into your very own topics and ideas for your videos. That's how that works. Now, if you've been noticing some little pop-ups that have been showing up for me, that's because I have an extension, a Chrome extension called Keywords Everywhere. And so Keywords Everywhere, if you have this Chrome extension, I've got it listed up here with a circle and a K in the middle. You can download that free from your Chromebooks or your Chrome store extensions. When I type in anything up here, so we've typed in Wellness Box plus blogs, what I'm seeing is that there are other keywords and phrases here, not only the ones that are related to what I typed in specifically, but also things that are related to what other people are searching for in that space. So all of these could potentially trigger some ideas for topics for you to create your video around using these phrases. Don't sleep on the Google, okay? Think about what it is you want to learn more about and what it is you want to teach and share with others. Type that thing in there and look for blogs and articles that are already written on the topic, and that will generate ideas for you. So that is tip number 2. And the third and final tip I want to leave you with on how you can actually find ideas for your Facebook Lives is this. If I can get it to show up, let's go on back in here. There we go. You can find an app, a keyword search app. You can find an app such as Uber Suggest. There are several, okay? Now, in episode 57, so if you're on my Facebook, you'll find that in the playlist. If you're on YouTube, you'll find it in the playlist for 2022 weekly lives. Episode 57, I talked about something called Topic Mojo. Topic Mojo, and we spent our entire time talking through Topic Mojo. It's an excellent platform and tool to give you ideas. Now, sometimes what I've noticed is, depending on the niche and the amount of information you provide to the app, because, you know, input in is input out, whatever you're providing to them to do this search is critical to the type of output and ideas that you get back. So I'm not going to spend this time going over that entire Topic Mojo conversation again, but I want to give you a couple that I want you to look into and consider doing a trial run with, because any of the ones I'm about to share with you could potentially be good tools for you depending on your niche and what you're trying to do. So I'm going to go through these. I have a whole list in my head. I'm going to try to share with you. I'm not going to pull up all the websites, but I may pull up a few if you've got questions. So be sure to ask any questions you have about anything that I've shared. Yes, ma'am. It's good to see you, Bridget. Howdy, howdy. So if you've got questions on any of these, I want you to let me know. Now, the first I already mentioned was Uber Suggest. That's UberSuggest. In fact, I'll pull these up, and that way you'll be able to see them on screen in case you're looking for the spelling. Any of these you can try. Just go and do a trial run, or just get the free version and see if this might be useful and helpful for you. Test them out with the words that you know are related to your topics of expertise, because the goal is that you're trying to find idea generators, ways to come up with topics for your videos. So Uber Suggest is a great one by Neil Patel, who is an amazing marketer. He's really good on these pop-ups. So you are going to experience a ton of pop-ups, but they do work for marketing. Uber Suggest, you can use the free version, and you can do pretty well with the free version, and the search results that you get from this can be very effective, at least for giving you ideas for video topics in your space. Another one that I want to share with you is, what did I say? Some I'm not going to share. Topic Mojo was another one. And like I said, in episode 57, if you go back to episode 57, you will see me do an entire video on this particular app. So I was able to get, and I shared with all of you, a lifetime deal on it. I don't know, and I can't tell that that's still available, but it's okay, because even if you use the free version, it's still pretty handy. And they provide some really interesting reports that will give you ideas on topics that you can talk about. Another one that I would think would be good, especially if you're looking for video topics, there's two other ones that I'll share with you. One is called vidIQ. So I'm going to go to vidIQ right now and show you what this looks like. vidIQ, and if you've ever heard of, what's the other one? TubeBuddy, which I'll show you next. That's my final one. TubeBuddy and vidIQ are fairly similar. The thing that I like about it is they have a daily ideas tab. So I've shared this a couple of times, and I felt like it was important to bring it up one more time here with you. When you type in, or not type in, when you choose the daily ideas tab, even with their free version of vidIQ, notice that they will have ideas that they're giving you that could potentially be a high value for you. Okay. So what I do is I tend to try to go in here every couple of days, and I'll see what the topic is. And if it looks like a topic I think I might want to talk about in the future, I will save it by clicking on the heart. Okay. If it's something that's far off of anything I would ever talk about, like this ethics of shipping, I probably won't be talking about that. I don't know. I'm about to restart our Amazon live stream actually in July. So maybe, so I'm not going to X that out, but I'm not going to heart it either. When I heart these, when I give them a like, what ends up happening is I'm beginning to collect an entire list of potential video topics that I want to talk about, and they're all saved inside of vidIQ. So that is, to me, that's gold, because now I can go and scan. If I've run out of ideas for the coming month, I can go and scan through and see what might be something of interest. The final tool or app that I would share with you to use would be TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy also has a keyword search function, and it also has a video title or topic generator built inside. TubeBuddy is the one that I do pay for a premium subscription with them, because there's so much that you can do with this. And I did promise Academy members that I'll be doing a TubeBuddy tutorial. So I'll be doing a workshop on how to use TubeBuddy, maybe not July, probably August, ladies and gentlemen. So just in case you're in the Academy and you're looking for when we're going to do that, I'm putting that as a priority because it came up a couple of times in the last month in our calls. So TubeBuddy is the final one. There's a lot that you can do with TubeBuddy, and I highly recommend really that you take any of the four that I just mentioned and do a trial run and see what works for you. See if when you put in certain keywords, you're getting ideas generated for potential video topics, okay? Because any of the things that I just shared with you can work. They really can. And I know this because I've used all the techniques that I'm sharing with you, every single one. And sometimes it takes multiple ways to figure out, okay, what is going to work for me? What works for me every time may not work for you. That's why I try to give you lots of possibilities so that you can check these out and decide, this is the strategy, this is the approach I want to use for my business. So I'm going to recap, but I want to double check and see if there's any questions. Thank you so much, Eric B. in the house. You're welcome. I appreciate you. All right, so here's what I'm going to do as a quick recap of all three. The first one is to read more books. And you can also include podcasts in here, okay? Because I know we're all on the go. So podcast, get yourself an Audible account or a Blinkist account. Get a way where you're consistently and regularly developing your brain and expanding your thinking. Some of us are so stuck that we can't come up with ideas because we're still stuck 2 years ago. And we haven't done anything to grow and expand our thinking about the topic that we talk about. But it has to be fresh. Even if you've got evergreen content, what you're talking about on video has to be fresh. It needs to be something that is constantly top of mind for you so that it's top of mind for your audience members too. And it's relatable in the moment. Tip number two. I've been talking a lot today, y'all, and I'm probably just going to fall out on the floor like after this stream is over. I'm going to be real with you. So use the Google is number two. Make sure you're using Google search. Don't forget that it's there. And look, I didn't say this, but when you do these searches in YouTube as well for potential titles and topics, you're going to find the competitors. I hate using that word because I don't think we really have to compete with anybody but ourselves. But let's just say other people who are doing having similar conversations online on YouTube. You're going to pull them up. They're going to pull up when you start typing in your words in the search. They're going to pull up, and those videos that are showing up on the first page and in the first run, they're going to give you some ideas for topics. You're not stealing information. You're going to share your own perspective on these topics in the way that only you can share it and put your own spin on it. But those topics obviously are popular and relevant, or else they wouldn't have shown up first. I want you to think about that. So Google and YouTube search can really be helpful. And then the third is, I want you to really consider finding yourself an app or a tool that may be helpful to mine information, that may help you to create a library of potential topics. So I gave you a few of them. There's a whole lot more, but those were my top go-tos in this moment. And again, if you go back to episode 57, I believe, it's about Topic Mojo, and I've shared some of the ways in which I've used that particular tool, but literally there are a bunch of tools out there. I just want you to find something that works for you. And yes, absolutely, Michelle, Audible and Kindle are my best friends. I know. We don't always have to have, although I do love the feel of a book. I really do. I love the paper. I love to hear the sound of pages turn. I don't know why. I'm just that way. I'm built that way. But even if you don't have that access, or you're just kind of finding yourself not doing what you need to do and reading, find an easier way to read. And an easier way to read would be finding these different types of shortcut apps that we shared in Cool Idea Tip number 1. So let me scroll and see if we have questions. And I do not have questions at this point. Yes, ma'am, Miss Phyllis. I'm so glad that you appreciated the knowledge and the tips. And look, if you have a tip or two to add to what I've shared here, put it in the comments so that others can benefit from that tip as well. I will be back on with you in July. Can y'all believe tomorrow is July 1st? What? So I'm going to be back on live with you in July. And I am looking forward to sharing with those of you who are inside of our community, in the Facebook community called Live Streaming for Service Providers. We will be sharing a full out calendar of what's happening in July. There's a lot taking place. But I don't want you to miss out on the fact that tomorrow night is when Stream Bosses Academy does close. So if you want to know more about the Academy, make sure you take yourself on over there to that website, take a look through, watch the video. If you've got questions, I've got a little bubble at the bottom right-hand corner where you can ask me any questions you want. I know it did fly by. It's so crazy. It is so crazy. And look, I want to give a real quick shout out to JP High Tech, because JP is helping me to upscale even more I do love my live stream and I love what I've done with it so far. But when you're ready to up level and upgrade things, you got to find somebody that's at the next level and beyond. And JP, your graphics and what you do on live are amazing. So I'm excited that I get a chance to work with you. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I know, Michelle. Audible, Kindle, and a physical book. Sometimes she does all three for the same book. That's funny. Look, I just appreciate you being here. And as you are working towards your live streaming goals and upgrading your game, if you need help, I'm here for you. Even if you're not a member of the Academy, then I want you to know you can come back and you can watch every video that we broadcast each and every week because it's for you. These tips and what I share in these videos are designed to help you to really learn how to leverage live streaming for your own business and to promote your brand. So that's the focus. So I look forward to seeing you next week. And I wish you, for those of you who are in the US, an amazing, incredible, and safe 4th of July, because I know that's also going to happen in between now and the time that we meet again. So be safe, take good care of yourself, and don't forget to sit down and commit to doing the things you said you were going to do. You said you were going to get on camera. Let's see it. Share your stream. I look forward to seeing that URL in any of my community spaces. You can share with me. Hey, Tanya, you remember you kept telling me to do this? I finally did it. Here's the link. All right, y'all. Have a wonderful evening. And I will see you next time in this stream at Stream Like a Boss TV. Take good care.